Hello and welcome back, everyone. We were right. The casters were right. 3-game series. 1-1 so far. So all the Wildcards fans in chat, we're going to take this win gracefully as the broadcasters and just talk about the series itself rather than gloating. Team Liquid had a solid performance throughout. It was a little bit later this time around. Am I right in saying that this one was late game? We can all agree this went to the late game? We had a Dragon Soul. We had
went
Baron.
to the real late game, then I feel like Wildcard would have had more of a chance.
Fair.
Come
there was
on.
a soul. That's fair. We got past 30 minutes.
Yep.
Better.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm earning it back a little bit. I'm earning it back.
Little bit.
So let's talk about how they did it through a game during our Rally Cry halftime show that I like to call Pixel Perfect. Cubby, you were complaining last night at dinner that you haven't had a chance to play this one, so
yes.
You're welcome. I'm bringing it back
Thank
for you. The way that this one works, if anybody is unaware, I have a couple of different screenshots from the game. Some of them are 16-bit. Those ones are easier to tell what's going on. I still punched in, but you can see the champions, some of the nameplates. 8-bit, little grainier, harder to tell what's happening, and then 1-bit is very difficult to tell. It's really punched in, and it's going to look terrible on the stream. But that's the point, everybody. So the casters get to relive the game and guess what moment of the game I took the screenshot from. Gubby, Mazel, any questions?
Rock, paper, scissors. See who goes first.
Oh, we've never done this.
Delay, let's try it.
All right.
Okay, I'll count down. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And when I say shoot,
yes.
both of you do it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, Cubby gets it. That's hilarious that we all get to see the delay live as well.
It's so great. It's so great.
Don't worry about it. All right, moving forward. I get to go first.
Yes.
I'm going to choose in 8-bit.
You want to go for an 8-bit. Oh, my. Nobody's ever gone for an 8-bit
Start
first.
with the 8.
What is
I always
happening?
go. It's Goldilocks. I did this all of last year. It's too hot, too cold, just right.
All
okay.
right. This is the image for the first 8-bit. What is happening in this image? Can you give me the context from the game?
Bradley just solo killed Moose Hater while he was dirty farming top.
Oh, my goodness. Cubby, why are you so good at this game? Absolutely.
Now, I will say, at later stages of the game, I erased a couple of the TL mistakes from my mind because I really didn't want to relive those. So you might get me later, but this was an easy one.
This one was Moose Hater disrespecting the damage and Malphite can put out at this point in the game. He tanked a full minion wave and then I think just W'd at the wrong time. Bradley held some of his spells. He held his W and his E till the Garen W was down. Just went in for the kill. It's pretty cool. And it shows that Moose Hater was getting away with this throughout most of the split, right? Yeah. But now Bradley is learning. They left up the Garen, had a counter, had an outplay. So Cubby gets 2 points. Congratulations, Cubby, for 2 points for the 8-bit. Mazel, it is over to you. You want to go? You want to go for a 1-bit? Let's do it. I love it. And most people just go for the 1-bits right away. This one's a fun one.
Yeah.
What is the context of this screenshot here?
Oh, God. So that's the Mega Death Rocket from the Jinx cat skin or whatever it is. I'm going to say that this was probably the Baron or the Rift Herald Steel.
Ooh, maybe the hint from the level that it's currently at. And that is correct, Mazel. Nicely done.
I got my first correct.
A cool little steal. Cool. This is your first correct ever, isn't it? So this was more of just a fun moment of the game. It didn't actually have like crazy implications, in my opinion, for like turning. I think Team Liquid didn't get the Herald afterwards, but they denied it from Wildcard, and that wasted some of Wildcard's time. So shout outs to Arrow for still managing even with the Jinx.
Dude, he stole
nerfs.
a crazy like dragon. I think it was Dragon Soul or an Elder or something with the Blade Whirl.
Draven?
From Draven.
Yeah.
Insane. During the regular season.
That was a dumb game. That was a fun game, but a dumb game from regular season. Give me a 1-bit.
That's 3 points to Mazel, by the way. So 2 points to Cubby, 3 points to Mazel. He's in the lead.
Getting those points. We're getting those points back.
Don't worry.
I started slow, but I warmed up for this. All right, now I'm gonna whiff. All right, here we go.
All right, what do you want to go for? 1-bit?
1-bit. I already said, yeah. I'm getting the points back.
What is the context of this image on your screen? This 1-bit image.
Looks like one of those moments that I really wanted to erase from my mind from TL's game. Well, there's a shield, and I feel like he might be.
Who this is? Can you tell who this is?
No.
There's no nameplate.
But
okay.
I
5.
feel like they're polymorphs.
4, 3, 2, 1.
TL got caught first time around by a mid-inner, and Bradley went down. That's my guess.
That is incorrect. Right. Mazel, you have a chance to steal. What do you want to go for?
I think that's Annie. Maybe like mid Tibbers cast? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That is incorrect. This is, in fact,
Is it Moose Hater?
Mir on Lee Sin. You can see him in the bottom left right there. I'm telling you, the one bits, it's harder to tell what's going on.
What?
This was the key moment. He lands the Q onto Keel, and he
has
waits.
Like the empowered auto.
He waits for every last second to take the Q. If he goes in too early, he probably just dies. Duo King's close enough to throw out the polymorph, which I believe was off cooldown at the time. But he waits the last second, goes in, assassinates Keel. This is what gets them the Dragon Soul. So cool setup here. This was after they Moose Hater traded his life for APA in the bot lane, and then we went for that Dragon Soul setup.
What kind of quality are you watching this game on, man?
I'm telling you, the one bits are meant to be hard. I'm making them harder. I'll give it to you one more time.
Did you
Boom.
like?
Look at that.
Did you export this image like 50 times in the break just to like make it random like that? I literally thought that was like someone's polymorph.
You can't leak
Honestly,
my strats, Cubby.
it looks like what's like the TFT mini where you like rub your belly a bunch. It looks like that guy.
Okay, I think this looks like Lee Sin.
No,
it looks like Lee
Chonkers.
Sin.
That is not.
It looks like Chonkers.
Look at it.
It does not look like Lee Sin.
All right, whatever. Let's keep going. So, back to the scoring.
Give me an easy one.
That was Cubby's. Mazel is still up. Mazel, you get the opportunity. 16-bit.
You take the 8-bit win.
Let's do it. Yeah, if you take the 8-bit, then it's impossible for Cubby to get it. But he already said 16-bit.
I've got to cast a whole nother game with him. I don't want him to be out of it.
This guy's way too nice.
That is very nice. I hadn't thought about it that way. Thank you, Mazel. All right, what is the context of this 16-bit image on your screen?
So that is Keel, because I see the blue little jungle guy. Is this where did he give the Krug little ones to Lens?
That is incorrect. Cub, you have a chance to steal.
I believe what you were looking for, Mazel, was 255 in the game.
That is correct. The
56.
insane clear speed of Keel on the Karthus. He just blitzed through his own jungle and was very far ahead. And then even with like the counter jungle, he went up and got the Raptors later. So he was like super accelerated. Not to spoil that that's not going to be one of the cards we talk about here.
Now that I've given you a little bit of breathing room here, Cubby, go ahead.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you the same. Give me the 8-bit.
Wow.
You're going for the 8-bit.
Yeah, what'll win?
Cubby wants to go 8-bit, the final 8-bit option. Let me see if I can set this up. All right, here we go. Boom. What is the context of this image on your screen, Cubby?
This Moose Hater getting chased and dying bot.
I'm going to need a little more context than that.
That was my guess.
Well, there's a keyword in there that I don't think is accurate to the description.
So, this is when he got Alcove gameplayed. When he got Alcove gameplayed. And he one-shot.
That is incorrect. Mazel, you have a chance to steal.
Oh, God.
Not good for the brand. Not good for the brand.
4, 3, 2, 1.
1v1 in bottom lane.
This was when we were highlighting in the cast. Keel was so far ahead in the jungle clear. Mir was down like 50 CS and then decided, all right, screw it. We're just going to go for ganks. They set up a trap onto Moose Hater, and they just target Moose Hater for pretty much the rest of the game. So Mir went from, I'm going to try and farm, to saying, it's doomed. We cannot farm. We're not going to beat the cards that way. I got to get active on the map and start looking for these laners, and Moose Hater was the primary target.
All right.
All right, Mazel.
For the win.
Final one.
A 16er.
16-bit right here, the last option. Mazel can take the game.
Oh, my God. You know, everything is a blur at this point.
This is a 16-bitter. You can see the names.
Well, not just
like
the blur
Chonkers
on the
from TFT.
screen, but
that was
it's
a 1-bit.
the blur in the game.
The one bit's supposed to be hard.
It's the catch out on Saligo in mid lane at level 6 with the ulti. No,
That's not what happened in the play.
You're right.
That's what he tried to do. Cubby, can you give me the actual play?
He did miss it. That's when they Saligo turned it around, Keel flash in, and they got first.
You're welcome.
Yep.
You're welcome.
There we go.
Cubby.
Oh, wow.
So the reason I wanted to highlight this is because Keel was ahead in farm. He gets first blood on Karthus jungle.
Dude,
Keel was like 2 levels up in this
You're welcome,
game.
Cubby. You're welcome.
Ready to carry.
I feel like you just let me win, and it's not the same, and that makes me sad.
All right. Well, you know what? I don't think you would have gotten it no matter which one he went for, Cubby, so it's not that big of a deal. That is, of course, Pixel Perfect, the way that we like to relive the game. Keel was ahead. He was in a position where I thought he was going to carry. I was getting ready to say 2-0, right? Like, this game's over. But TL stayed in it. props to them. Stacking the dragons, winning those team fights, and getting to this game 3, which we're ready for pick and ban for. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to pass it back off to Mazel and Cubby to finish out the series.
All right, Mazel. We gotta get energy back. I know that game we had some miscues, but we're ready. All right,
we're ready for
game 3. This is the first game 3 we've had so far in Challengers,
and it's on the A stream, so it works out perfectly.
Let's go.
We did expect for this matchup to be very contested, right? We said that this is the most likely coming into the day. I was going to go to 3 games, and we get that here. Now
the 8 versus 9 seed and the fact that they had the best of 3 last week.
They literally just played a best of 3 on the other side of this one last week. But I do see TLC on the blue side banning away the Senna, the Nunu, the Blitzcrank. It is Wildcard banning away the Varus, the Rakan, that Thresh as well. But it's the Jinx first pick here for TLC.
That is a very different approach. I think that TLC, they think the Blitzcrank was the problem. Jinx Blitz, of course, was played in game 1 by Wildcard on red side, did very well. And I think Jinx was a big part of the bend but not break mentality as Jinx. Pretty strong in the new patch, but taking the Jinx there does mean they drop the Annie. So that Annie flex now for Wildcard, we expect it to go into the hands of Saligo, as that is the one who has played it for Wildcard. But on red side, you get to hold that for the entirety of the draft. So very strong for Wildcard.
And again, this is a comfort pick for Lens. He likes to take aggressive matchups, right? He's the Callista, he's the Draven, even a little bit of the Ashe there in the regular season. But I love to see the eggs in the basket of Lens in this bottom lane for Wildcard. Again, a guy that we feel like maybe has flown a bit under the radar with all these other kind of big carries coming through for the Garens, the Karthuses. But Lens is that super solid ADC player in our provisional bracket.
Right. I'm telling you guys right now, if they take Garen here, if Wildcard takes Garen, that Cho'Gath's going mid. I'm telling you that right now, okay? Just throwing that out there.
I like to see that Mirror's back on the Lee Sin, though. Again, that proactivity was huge. There's the Garen, locked in, as you said. The Cho'Gath also another big point, but we'll see where that goes. As you said, maybe to that mid lane.
I expect it to go mid. You can play it into Annie. It's something that APA has always played on his solo queue accounts. It's not a good matchup against Garen top. I mean, Garen, again, late game does run it. I want to see what Wildcard takes away. They're still going to ban out top laners. They feel like the Cho'Gath's going mid too.
Yeah, they want to try to focus down this top side matchup. The same bans, I'm sure, that we've seen pretty much every other game so far will be maybe that Olaf joining the table there. But now it's really on to TLC, what they want to try to pick apart.
So we honestly have a pretty curious game of chicken that's going to go on now, because Duo King has yet to play Annie bot. Okay, so no Annie support. You can see TL, they're banning away supports. They still expect this Annie to go mid. As Sligo, he's played it 4 times, and he's 3-1 with it. Okay, but the Fiora is available this time around if Bradley wants it, so that
Olaf
is a little bit different.
also on the table. There's the Keel Belveth ban, so some comfort taken away as well.
Making sure they can't run that Annie Belveth. I do like that call from TL, as that is, of course, what beat them at the tiebreaker. And now, Nautilus, only the second Nautilus play for Duo King, so that does put the Annie mid. Again, I expect Cho'Gath to go mid. So I'm thinking Fiora, thinking something else in the top side to go into Garen. If not that, then we're going to see something like Victor. I think Victor is APA is good at it. It wouldn't be like a winning mid-jungle duo with the Lee Sin, but it is really strong into what's showing here for Wildcard.
You know me, I'm always going to want APA's A Soul, but we'll see if we get that maybe later on into the tournament, as the Renata would be an interesting choice here for TLC. It is locked in, so some peel back in there and some setup in its own right.
I do like Renata in the Nautilus. I actually think that the rest of Wildcard can deal with Renata all right.
Yeah, me too.
So I think that it's okay here, given where Wildcard still is at. Now,
is this going to be the flex Cho'Gath?
Did I call? I called it Talia earlier today. I think I'm calling the Cho'Gath too. I feel pretty good about this.
Yep. There we go. It is the Scion locked in for Bradley. Not something that I would say dealt with the Garen in game number 1, but something that TLC are willing to go back on, and we'll see what the final pick, the counter pick, is for Wildcard in the jungle. It is the card.
I mean, it's all Jinx. Like, this is Arrow's game, right? Yep. You have a Cho'Gath, you have a Scion, you have a hostile takeover. That's the majority of the damage is going to be coming out of Arrow. Now, of course, Cho'Gath, he actually does a pretty decent amount of damage, especially when you go Qmax, Everfrost, AP build like we expect. Could be a Rod, though, for APA as well. See what he ends up going with. Wildcard has ways to make plays early. Like, they actually do have tools this time around. I think that's a big difference for Wildcard. They aren't just going to roll over and die. Garen is the late game savior with Karthus, but you can make plays with Annie, Draven, and Nautilus. It's just on TL to make sure that they hit the mid game as hard as they need to.
Yeah.
And I think the 5v5, it's a huge front line that you got to get through if you're Wildcard.
The big interest for me is that bottom lane, and Len's on the Draven really needing some resources his way and making sure to get some of those kills. So I want to see how quickly Keel maybe gets that level 4 gank down there, get something going. But we'll be getting onto the Rift now very, very shortly for our final game of the day. And it's another best of 3 going the distance between Wildcard and TLC up in the upper bracket of our NACL Playoffs 2023 Spring. We're on to the Rift now. TL on the blue side, Wildcard on the red, and see who you think is going to win. If you spam in chat, WC, it'll be for Wildcard, TLC for Team Liquid Challengers.
Oh, we got a close contested vote here. Happy to see a lot of spam going on in the chat. I think it's going to be Wildcard favor, given that they are the provisional team, the upsets, but TL fandom always strong. Again, really feel like this game, Keel... So he's on red side. He's, of course, going to want to start that blue buff because you are Karthus and path towards top. I am curious if and when Keel does flip his pathing because you can make plays towards bot.
Yeah.
You have the Nautilus. You have the Annie. I think that's going to be curious to see. And honestly, we'll see if Keel actually doesn't start the blue. It would be a slower clear, but I really think going top to bot's better for him. But Mir, uh-oh.
The signifier
it's Sion.
for me, the signifier for me is if Mir gets something early. I think if you do find that, that's huge. Also, we get a little bit more support for our APA. It's Wildcard Saturday. Selling the whole seat, but you will only need the edge. Go TLC. A little bit of love given there from some familiar support. Nice trade for Celico, at least going into lane. And if you want to join that conversation, if you want to be seen on screen with your tweets, use the hashtag NACL on Twitter. We'll maybe even talk about your tweet a little bit. But it is that same side start, at least for both junglers. Again, I was saying maybe Keel wants to try to get something bot lane early.
Yeah, this is not the blue buff start, so it's a little bit slower for Karthus, and you do have to worry about your mana just a little bit, but should be okay for Keel. Of course, expert at piloting this pick. But, again, Mir, if he wants to go Wolves red, he might have a window to actually invade.
That's what you need to see in that invade pool for Mir. Very interesting development over the year. An interesting add to the TL roster here. But such a bright point in his own right coming over from the LCO. And formerly Arthur.
Now, push for Wildcard will be... looks like their bot lane and mid have push. Pretty expected. Given it's Draven early game. Not to mention it's Annie and the Cho'Gath who have range in the melee. So maybe Mir probably not going to have an invade window given how the lanes are playing out. And keep in mind, we've seen 3 Karthus games now. Game 1, it was kind of a slow handshake, and then Wildcard just took over. Game 2, TL were able to get a lot more done on the map, as they did have a lot of proactivity. They don't have the same amount of proactivity this time around. So it will really still be on TL to make sure that they are able to make the plays when necessary, as we do have Karthus wrapping up that clear 305.
And I know we talked about it a little bit more, but this is a team in TL, at least the organization at this developmental level, that's made 3 consecutive finals. This is not a developmental org that is not shying away from success. And I think having Bradley still on the roster trying to rebuild the dynasty that was created last year has been a tough road, but they've got some pieces to really make a run for it and be one of our top contenders. But it comes with the need to take late games, to take these strategic ploys from Wildcard and find advantages with it. And here's that early advantage that we wanted and needed, but the flash from Celico, is it enough to get him away? Flash responded to. First blood for Mir.
And I love the setup there. You could see the power of the silence from Cho'Gath, Mazel, as Annie couldn't get the stun off in time. Red buff applied by Wee Sin. Make sure that play goes in TL's favor. And first blood on the Wee, very good start.
We needed to see that early advantage from Mir, and it was given now.
Oh, we can go top maybe.
Looking for the capitalization now. Actually, Keel was wrapping around for a bit of an invade.
Keel's going to sneak in and take the Gromp. It's like trying to find Mir. This is pretty curious.
I mean, they've got to know that something's going on up here now that he literally has just gone in. But Moose Hater, oh no! Mir, you could be following up this second kill flash from Moose Hater, so that'll be returned to.
Okay. No flash follow as Moose Hater. He does burn both sums. That's well worth it still for the side of TL. Good find from Mir. I think he's okay trading this Gromp for that.
Yeah, he is indeed. And Getting a bit of that aggression from Keel. As
He's going straight top. He doesn't care about his camp, man. He's just going straight top. He knows that given where Keel was on the path, he's probably going top to bot, so he has a window to make an impact if he wants to.
No flash, no ghost, too.
He's going to get the bad news on his Gromp, see how he adapts from there.
What's up with all this bad news, man? The bad news is everywhere. See, he's crying. Look what you made him do.
Yeah. It's a bummer. That is big, though, because now Mir, he is spotted going towards the bot side, and this does open up a window for Keel to impact top, as he just might be here to make sure that Moose Hater can get a free recall. I like this from Keel. There's no TP on the top side. Pretty smart.
I was really interested to see if maybe Keel went for that quick kind of aggression on bot lane, get Lens something, but we hadn't seen that. And a bit of response towards mid really brought the attention of both junglers, and the early pathing still is very interesting, but Mir will find a little bit more here if he goes for the dragon, say this pressure that they're utilizing from bot lane as well.
Moose Hater actually didn't take the recall, so I guess just giving a free wave for himself, but not going to be down bad, but down a little bit. At any point, Bradley can base the TP and really put the pressure on this Garen. But speaking of pressure, first going to be TL wrapping up the second clear, trying to take that early dragon. Again, both these teams have really prioritized Dragon, especially Wildcard, who are second in Dragon percentage in our entire league. But TL has been the one getting the best of them in their early Dragons today as they continue to show off that improved macro play. See if AP gets V-stack here. Yeah.
And there you go. Successfully done as TLC reverse sweep. Let's get it. As we are into our first best of threes, the first possibilities for the reverse sweep. And what a way to get a little bit of a knockback on Wildcard after falling short in their previous would-be best of three.
All it's going to be around the Herald Zell. As I am pretty excited the fact that we actually do get a best of three. There were no best of threes in the other stream. I hate to be spoilers, for you and everyone else here. But Golden Guardians Challengers did find the 2-0 over AoE, and there was a 2-0, a C9C over COG Faith. So that stream's done early. Everyone gets to enjoy the Game 3 action here.
Yeah. I will just say also we had development. Bradley is on the train skin. All right, and that's just an immediate buff. I know we were talking about the 20% movement speed buff for Moose Hater. Bradley's going to need to take the train out of this one, though. He does flash, but Keel has been up here constantly. See if he returns now that the flash is down for Bradley.
We'll change how far forward Bradley can play in this lane. And honestly, it's something they can punish around the Herald fight, which we still feel like is very important for each of our teams here.
I'm still not seeing where Lens really gets an advantage anymore on this Draven. Really is trying to stack up those stacks and cash in when he can, but I don't know if there's going to be an opportunity with how much presence and pressure has been between this top and mid. And Mir showing up in a Moose Hater. That phase rush gets him a little bit of movement, that the knock-up, it's enough. And Mir should be able to execute this one. A little bit more damage, and that's a second kill to Mir.
Very clean on the Lee Sin. Again, just waiting for the sumless Garen to push in the lane. And that is a Moose caught in the headlights. As Mir takes him down, that's going to open up the Rift Herald and TL. Again, really showing that this is a team, like, they kept on drafting early game this season, Mazel. Early games weren't always going their way, but their continuation of this, it's really paying off now in playoffs as Mir. He's had two really solid games here on the Lee Sin. Game 1 was a win. This game, great start. They get the first Dragon and now the first Herald.
And they just have so much presence from these solo lanes, utilizing it so well. And now that he has 2 kills, he can just continue to put that pressure out. I love that Arrow trying to steal away some of these camps just in case Keel's going for that aggression there. We'll see back to the mid lane and a Rift Herald in tow, RTL.
And I think the answer for Wildcard, like any play that they can or ones who make it, has to be around the bot lane. Draven, Nautilus, they're the ones that have the early power, the early playmaking tools. We haven't really seen Wildcard go for that. It's still been about funneling Keel. It means that everything else is kind of getting bought out, and this is the bend but not break game that you always play with the Karthus. Because you really don't have a ton of power around some of these early objective fights. Especially given how tanky some of the members of TL are.
That's going to be the most difficult thing. I do want to highlight that Saligo on the Annie, I feel like we'll have a lot of say as we get to like the setup from out of mid lane. But the question is, how does that deal into APA, who on the Cho'Gath is just continuously stacking up here, will be getting his rod sooner rather than later. but especially now that we're seeing movement out of the mid lane. Duo King not necessarily able to get on those roams just yet. Kim Down already looking as well.
I mean, APA just he doesn't care, man. The Annie really can't move Cho'Gath. He's chilling. It's fine. So you can see Merc Treads, and it looks like double Leandries for Wildcard, which, given how tanky TL is, I really can't blame him there.
Alcove gameplay. Round 2? Round 3?
No, just Mir Lee Sin gameplay.
Just Mir Lee Sin.
He snuck in bot side. I don't know if they see Karthus top or not, but Kim Down's trying to look pretty tasty up here.
You said it, though, in the beginning. Arrow is the key factor here for TL, and getting him some gold down here would be huge, especially with the Rift Herald.
And Kim Down's really trying to look delicious. Props to Wildcard for not taking the bait. They're like, our Karthus is top. All right. Well, Mir finally shows some waste of time. Mir really had nothing else to do, so he's just going to help his team push out this lane. Take a creep for himself. Not going to throw down the Herald, though, as TL going to shift their power elsewhere.
Yeah, that handshake going a little bit wide there. There was the Tibbers used in mid lane. And APA just going at it with Soligo. Dragon spawning about 25 seconds, and Mir coming right back down to bot lane.
And honestly, Tibbers being dropped there by Wildcard tells me they don't even want to contest this next dragon. And Mir, you see the focus that he has on this lane to make sure they have priority. They're just going to try and take this dragon right when it spawns.
Be that second dragon going over to TL. With Mir still hovering that bottom side, you can see where they're putting their focus on. We also have the move from APA out of mid lane. And actually, Keel showing his face over there as well.
I'd love to look bot with our observers. I know that we have some trading in the top side. We're going to get a fight down here. Oh, boy.
Oh, that's a big hostile takeover. The cleanse used, but Duo King is already gone, and Mir's on a killing spree now.
Oh, the flash should get Duo King out instead. He's going down under into the gray screen. That is one kill. A couple ults burned. Tibbers is coming back up. So I think TL is going to try and wrangle control over the mid lane because Arrow actually did take a base after that play. So the next window is where they're going to look to take the dragon, but still TL. You can see how much focus Mir's putting on just controlling the bot side river, and finally Wildcard breaks.
I would love to see the amount of gold that Mir has now, because he is not backing. He's going straight for the dragon, as well as to be second dragon given over to TL. He has about 1,000 in gold in pocket, so that should be the item completion.
Yeah. All right. How feisty we getting here, Keel? Yeah, we can't walk in. APA. Oh,
he wasn't invited.
He wanted the stack.
He did want the stack. And I think the crying emote signifies that. We get another Hextech soul here. Now APA catching out Soligo. The silence, he can't do anything! And you save the damage! Bradley picks up the kill. Rift Herald on bot lane. TL are starting to break the bricks of Wildcard.
Cho'Gath is not balanced, man. The silence is way too much. And that's the second time that we've seen Soligo get silenced and not be able to pull off the play. The two deaths have come from the silence of Cho'Gath. Great collapse at Roam from Bradley, by the way, who did have top lane priority. Got something done with it. And TL, they've been bouncing back from that game one really well as a team. They took playmaking. They're actually doing things with it. What we'd love to see from this team, as we're actually going to go way back in the replay. How did Duo King fall? Okay, face check Kim down.
Yep, that'll
Nice
do it. The handshake back into the traps as well. Just a little touch to the devil right there for TL. And now Keel was hovering on bottom side, hovering over Arrow. I don't know if he can get anything here, as the wards do spot them out. Kim Down is here. Doesn't have the hostile takeover just yet. Duo King wanted to get in range for the depth charge, but that'll be the flash from Arrow.
Yeah, clever play there from Duo King, actually. It doesn't have the summoner spell on a couple plates, whereas meanwhile, Soligo.
Oh, Soligo. He gets the Tibbers out this time, but is it going to be enough? He's running over to Keel. The knockup is not there. Keel will be able to put some damage, and shut down goes to Cleanse. Those adoration stacks come in clutch, but Keel's in some trouble. Hostile takeover back. Kim Down is caught out now. And just like that, you got a couple members. Arrow, he won't fall to auto, but Kim Down will go to Lens. And that's 2 kills to Wildcard's ADC.
The collapse for TL. Mir, he wasn't able to get the flash out. He wasn't able to get the kick out. And Wildcard, they're the ones that take 2.
What a way to do it as well. Draven getting those stacks. Already had the Kraken Slayer. Now we'll be able to finish those boots, buy a BF sword and a crit cloak. And Lens is coming online now.
That is big. Draven, he's got a hell of a front line to get through. But there isn't a lot of damage. It's mostly CC. If he's able to sidestep the ruptures, Kraken Slayer rush, him being ahead, that is big. And again, Wildcard, the way they utilize their bot lane, a lot of it is, early strength to get dragons, but also get them to the later stages.
Oh,
boy, hold
Keel.
on.
He's caught out, though. The kick is there as well, but he's not going to use it. Mir now going down to the bailout. The Requiem coming through. Tries to go in to stop Moose Hater from moving forward, but Bradley's on a big flank, but Moose Hater's chasing him down. They realize they need to pull back as Bradley was spotted out. Should be a Rift Herald turn for Wildcard, as actually they move away from it.
They don't have a jungler, and if they fight again, there's no Requiem up for Wildcard. So I think TL, they actually kind of want to fight.
Oh my god! The Unstoppable Onslaught goes wide. They don't get the Rupture either, but they still get the CC double Tibbers stun from Wildcard.
No flash. He's dead.
Doesn't really have much to get out of here. He's running towards Lens, though. Duo King trying to save. Moose Hater on the flank. Him down, getting low. The Blade Whirl's not enough. The Whirling Death, rather. Moose Hater goes down as well. Look at Arrow kiting so well. Another kill goes to Lens, though, and that's so big as Bradley flashing out. Mir needs to get away. Lens is getting all the gold for Wildcard, and that's exactly where you need it.
And in a do-or-die game 3, our two teams are throwing down here. Mazel is, okay, hold on, Mir.
Trying to catch out Duo King here. Maybe get some
throwing down some more. Okay. Well, man, I gotta say, I respect TL for winning the fight while Requiem's down, but Lens played that so well that you called it out in the fight, Mazel. He was actually able to turn things around and at least make sure that TL couldn't get into this objective. So that is Rift Herald, the first neutral of the game, going over to Wildcard. And look at that gold lead. It's closed.
It absolutely is. We got first items across the board here as well. That Rift Herald in tow for Keel, trying to get out back onto the map and get more gold. That tower in the side lane will go down, though. So it is the first tower to Bradley and to TL. So they'll have about 1,000 gold ahead of Wildcard now.
All right, now we do have Dragon spawning in 40. It is going to be a soul point for TL. And it is another Hex deck, as you called out. That's a big one. We saw the power of it in the last game. TL would love to have that power again in this one. And I do feel like TL, they're strong enough to fight at the moment. Okay, we're going to get the replay. I was waiting for this one. So it's a good idea on the pinch, but Saligo plays this so well.
Yeah, he does.
I think that APA probably should have waited for Bradley throughout that Rupture because they're looking to chain it. But Saligo sidestepped 2 of the Qs from Sion. And because he's able to kite everything out, I mean, Moose Hater makes things close. It's a great save from Kim down onto Arrow. But they were able to at least find APA in the back half as Lens just went wild. And I love how far up Lens is positioning too, just threatening. Really good fight from Wildcard as this team continues to prove they can fight.
Oh, they got an engage.
Okay.
The Unstoppable Onslaught. They found Keel. Keel's going to go down, but he wants that. He wants to put some damage back into Mir. The Requiem's coming through. Moose Hater wants to go through, but he might be in some trouble now as the Whirling Death comes out from Lens. We got ultis down across the board to Demacian Justice, and the Tibbers still there for Wildcard, but Dragon is on soul point for TL.
They have to see to the APA. He's fishing with the Rupture, but Kim down. That hostile takeover was massive from the Renata.
It was indeed, but Saligo coming on the back flank here. Maybe trying to push a fight on the Duo King.
They have flash
He's low. He does get out with a nice hook into the wall. Mir's still focusing on the Dragon now, though. Or they've caught themselves in this position before. Can it go right this time for TL? As now it's the front line getting aggressed on. Demacian Justice used, but not finding the execution. Lens flashing over the wall. Lens gets one. He wants that aggression, but he goes right to the death screen as APA taked up the rest of the team, and it's a trade back. APA makes it out alive.
I don't know how APA and Bradley got out of there alive, but Wildcard, they pull off the heist. Yeah, Lens goes down, but I think Lens did enough to get the Dragon unless Mir.
That is the
my
Dragon
goodness.
Stopped the inevitable stacking from TLC.
Can hunt. They have TPs.
But TL want more. They want to take down Keel. He's slowed down. And nice distance covering as he makes it out.
That was so close for them finding Keel, but Wildcard, the last 2 skirmishes they've had, they've actually walked away with both neutrals. And against throwing down the stacking for TL, that's great, because guess what happens? We've seen what Garen can do in the later stages, and Garen, I gotta say, Garen's really far behind in this game. It's going to be a while before Garen has that Black Cleaver and is able to run the side lane the way that we saw Garen do that in Game 1. As long as that is the case, I think that TL still have priority and the ability to make plays on the map. We just have to keep our eyes on Lens
here, man.
Yeah.
My God.
Holy cow.
This guy just goes straight over the wall into 4 members and it just says, I want kills.
What a Chad. He was one auto away from taking down Arrow. Again, Arrow is so much of the damage when it comes to Wildcard. Saligo almost found Mir in the back half too. I think Lens would have been able to keep on going if Mir wasn't able to get him quick enough, which was close, as somehow Bradley gets out, somehow APA gets out, somehow Lens flashing into 3 was actually the solution they needed, as he just traded himself for Arrow. It was very worth.
And now he's on that 2-item spike, 2.5 now with that Bloodthirster completed. Definitely far and above what Arrow is bringing to the table now. It's the red buff as well. We got another, at least, objective on the map now with the Baron. Not something I necessarily see them pulling, but TL want to break down this outer tower.
And they're going to get it, as Arrow is going to get a nice chunk in the DK as well. So TL still cruising. It's a 2.5k gold lead. I think the comp still is very good at the moment. Sion, Cho'Gath, really tough to get through. And they do have answers for Garen. As it's Cho'Gath. Curious what the second item is actually going to be here from APA. Is it just going to be Shadow Flame, or do we get a little spicy?
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Obviously, the stacking coming through here for him, maybe opting into a little bit of a late game scaling build for him if he can. And I do wonder where that comes to a head, right? We were talking about Wildcard getting some good late game options. They had Lens on the Draven, which gave you a little bit of early prowess. Obviously, he's 4-1 now, so that's usable. But we were also talking about the strength of their team comp later on. And going into TL, I think you do have some strengths on their side, but definitely not as much.
I mean, I think it's really important that Lens is just as far ahead as he is. Like, he is the one thing that, I mean, he's not the one thing to get through the front line, but the fact that he has a BT, like, he's just able to play so much further up. And the comp from TL, it's not a ton of damage. Like,
yeah,
the feast from APA does kind of make up, but that's damage on the one target. It's really important that they're able to find their CC and just make sure that Arrow is continuously autoing, because he is all the damage that TL has and needs.
He has the Runehands down too. I do see the sword picked up for Lens, so probably opting into that IE. Mir has got the kick on the kill, and he is gone, as the feast was not there, but it still is a kill. And now the Requiem used as a bit of salt in the Salt League here. Now the Baron is still on the table for TL, but would be a bit finicky.
Kim almost had to fire off the ultimate there. I think they can do it. I mean, there's no spine on the table. TL, they didn't burn a lot. They only burned the Sin Kick for that. So Kim down. If he has a nice setup with APA, could be a big hostile takeover. Look out for Saligo.
They want to try to do something here. Moose Haters walking down. 6,000 health. AP on the side. Will be turning the fight. Here's the hostile takeover on 3. Moose Haters caught out. Arrows putting in work. Saligo goes for a flash Tibbers, but he can't only find one. He goes golden now. Look at Lens. Lens is doing some decent work in the damage department. Duo Kings found himself all the way out in the middle of nowhere. He gets a kill on the Arrow, and Lens is able to pull it the other side. Moose Hater and Duo King to die for, as Mir kicks him back. He gets the CC, and Duo King gives his life.
I think they're gonna get Moose too.
Oh
this is getting wild,
Bradley. They got Bradley.
They're getting so much gold from this. They're gonna try and feed it over the Lens. Okay, not quite gonna be able to do that, but Moose Hater.
Oh my God, no way! No freaking way! It's the Moose Hater buff!
Okay, well, everyone has to reset. And guess what? We got to do that again in 30 seconds because Dragon is on the table again. Moose Hater, okay, he's actually going to just shove the wave. Wildcard, we'll see if they can get in position. They are going to be here first. What a wild fight, though, as Wildcard... These fights are so hectic, Mazel, but they're continuously proving that they can team fight with the best of them. And if everything gets split up and they don't take down Draven, that's the big key for Wildcard. Lens is doing so well in this game.
That's the difference. Like, they are taking these fights, but they are fine scaling into infinity here for themselves. And it's TL who have lost their big lead, and now it's the team fight that's coming to bear for Wildcard. They needed that chaos, and now they're wielding it like a weapon.
Bradley's TPing back in. We're going to have another 5v5. Requiem will be available for Keel. That's big.
See, as APA able to help get a little bit of vision in front, Lens will join the party here. To watch out as we get that flank manning marking of Moose Hater. Keel gets caught out. Unstoppable onslaught. Keel's going down first, but that's exactly what you need. Now Saligo, that Requiem coming through, and the Whirling Death does a lot. Shut down as Mir is gone off the table. Both junglers are down and out of the fight.
He had no Wildcard. They can continuously posture here because Lens has BT. Moose Hater has Garen passive, so TL...
APA has the feast. They have it. They could make a play for this. They're going to go for the fight, though, if there's nothing left. Mega Death Rocket strikes on the Duo King. The traps on the lens and the shutdown to feast for APA. And that's TL with the Dragon Soul point.
Kimdown's Renata has been so big this game. The first fight, the hostile takeover was huge. Lens had to burn Cleanse, get out of it. This time, he doesn't have it available. He doesn't flash it. Kimdown finds him. And that's the big difference in why TL ends up with the fight. Now TL, Mirror's back on the table. They're going to hunt. They're going to at least try and find Keel in the jungle. I don't know. Okay, they don't have enough gas for Baron. But, I mean, this is such a good find onto Keel originally. I love the engage from Bradley and APA. It's a great find. No one body blocks it. Karthus goes down. Mir just goes in a little bit too deep. It's a really good catch from Soligo. That's why things get interesting. But huge props to Kimdown, man. This guy coming straight out of collegiate.
Yeah.
I think he's had a really nice rookie split at support. I think he's been a little bit slept on at times because people had a negative review of him from the tryouts to TL had the Republic. This is a huge play from Kimdown, though, as this hostile takeover, it finds everyone, and they're able to get Lens in the back half.
Yeah, Lens can't get out. Also getting trap jawed down, and honestly, the duo of Arrow and Kimdown have been so lethal in these last two games. And what a come up for TL as they continuously take these fights, and it's just execution.
And this has been a bot lane that we've been, kind of asking. It's bot meta. We know that Kimdown's new, but it's like, hey, if this team's going to be successful, we've been asking for a couple members to step up, Bradley included. But to see Kimdown and Arrow stepping up in this series has been really good. And again, Kimdown's Renata, it's his pick in the Nautilus. I think he plays it really well. It's been damn good this game with the saves, the hostile takeovers. Now, see if he can find Lens again. He does have Cleanse available this time around, but Kimdown has been really integral to make sure that TL can turn these fights around in their favor.
We have everything back up, and we're about to get to Fisticuffs Part 3 here as Wildcard position. Get some vision around this Baron pit. TL don't want none of that. They could set up for a pick while Moose Hater's pushing in mid lane.
I mean, the Moose is loose now. That Black Cleaver's done. And Garen's going to be winning the side lane at any point. Also, level 15, level 16 coming in. That's really big for the side of Wildcard.
They're doing the Baron.
They can keep on hitting it.
What a play.
Lens sustains.
Okay, handshake comes in on Moose Hater. They could take turn to fight.
Soligo
finds on the back line here, though APA has gone golden. They bought so much time.
Wild.
Lens is getting a little bit crazy here with that whirling death. Mir finds Kill, but here comes the Requiem.
Oh, no.
Here comes the Dream from Wildcard. They don't get one, they get two. Lens with that flash. Might have just doomed Wildcard. Is it going to be enough, though?
Okay.
Wildcard on the backside, healing up. They're on to him as APA should go down to Demacia Justice and TL. They don't have the gas left in the tank to take this fight.
Lens understands. He just has to take down Arrow. Again, that's all the damage for the side of TL. So by him trading himself out for Arrow, it's actually okay. It allows Moose Hater to run rampant. It's going to find one more to exit.
They just got to take down Bradley, the beast that would be for TL. But the top has come together for Wildcard. They drafted for late. They had some troubles early, but they gave the damage to Lens. As I don't believe Bradley gets out of this one alive. He's putting up a heck of a fight. Cleaver. This is looking like an episode of On the Range at this point.
Oh my God.
He's still alive. Taking down Keel now. He will finally get shut down.
I thought that it was a Black Cleaver finish for Moose Hater. He actually went Deadman, so we're seeing the lack of Black Cleaver kind of shine through there as Brandon was able to live forever. But still, Wildcard, it's an even gold game. 28 minutes in Bazell. We've got a banger on our hands as it's game 3, everything on the line. Our teams are throwing down, and I love the understanding of Wildcard. If they take Arrow out of the fight, they win. So first off, it's Soligo stunning up Arrow, making sure that he cannot auto-attack. He's already brought down to 1/3 HP just from Annie. Then it's the ultimate from Keel who falls. Arrow still cannot fight, still cannot do anything. And then it's Lens being like, all right, if I trade myself for Arrow, there's literally no more damage on TL and it's fine. And now we go back to live. Wildcard, they're just going to take the Baron.
They are, and it's already gone. APA can't even get over the wall. What a play, and at least tempo control from Wildcard. We'll look back at this replay, though, continuing the absolute onslaught that was the rest of this play.
I mean, I don't have to watch the rest of this replay. It's just Bradley being goofy. What happened to get Wildcard the Baron? That's huge.
We'll come back to it, but it is all the members here resetting with that Baron buff for Wildcard. And they are now 2,000 up in the lead, and they have a comp to boot. TL just trying to find something now, and it is focusing around peeling for Arrow and getting this soul for them.
I mean, they can still find picks, and it's 30 seconds away from Hextech Soul. If TL gets Hextech Soul, that Baron, or that scaling, and the Baron is kind of neutralized. It is such a powerful soul for TL. This game would get really funky and really interesting if they do get it.
Bradley tanking up a storm. Moose Hater trying to find a wraparound. TL wanting to commit to a fight. Again, you have to watch where Arrow is. The trap jaws come through, but nothing else going to be committed just yet. We still have ultis across the board, and Dragon spawning in 6 seconds. Requiem comes down. Shielding isn't going to be enough.
Watch Soligo, watch Soligo, watch Soligo.
Still in the back.
Watch
Soligo
Soligo.
got the flank. The double stiffers, as now it's too much. Wildcard, they actually get traded back, though. Mega Death Rocket dodged by Moose Hater, and he goes down.
Get excited.
Down. Lens gets himself another. Mir will go down to kill eventually, and that eventuality will be Wildcard, as I don't think Duo King can chase him down. Mir survives, but God, I love Lens so much. No other AD flashes forward like him to try to win this game, and it is Wildcard pulling back from the brink.
While in this weird game, weird draft, Wildcard understands what they need to do. It is all about killing Arrow. He's all the damage on this team. They're sending the kitchen sink at Arrow every single damn fight, and they just cannot deal with it on the side of TL.
They cannot. A Dragon going over. We'll see a pick back through that fight.
Again, the angle here from Soligo, it's so damn good. Now, Arrow, he actually react flashes the play from Soligo, which is pretty insane. The fact that he gets out of this, but it doesn't even matter. The pinch that's coming out of Wildcard here is so good, as you can see the hostile takers. It's buffered.
So
Arrow does flash out of that. That's the only reason this fight was remotely close, is the setup from Wildcard so damn good. Also, the side stuff from Moose Hater, that was wild. If Arrow gets excited there, he actually gets out of his dredge line, is maybe able to reset the fight. But Moose Hater, side step really important to make sure that fight went in Wildcard's favor. And props them on another great team fight setup.
It really was. Mir able to pull back a little bit there, but now you're looking at 4th item completed, a stopwatch in tow for Lens, and that is far and above what Arrow's bringing to the damage table now. And Wildcard, they're looking to pull back in this, deny the reverse sweep. And again, these wins for provisional teams in the upper bracket are so damn important.
It's huge. It really makes a difference in where you're going to be for that promotion relegation. So Wildcard have even more to play for. And man, Lens has had a really good rookie split. I feel like he's been overshadowed a bit by Masu, who of course has been another really impressive rookie. But Lens, as a marksman, what he's doing this game is bonkers. Like, he understands something that I feel like not a lot of players would understand given the comp and given the draft, and it's actually gotten Wildcard back in as he's been flashing forward and trading himself for Arrow, right? That's not something a lot of marksmen would do or recognize, but I think Lens is correct in doing it in this game. It's been really impressive to see.
It really has. Now we got 3rd item completed for Arrow. Will be that Bloodthirster there. A little bit more team fight, and that 3rd item spike could do wonders for TL, but it's about positioning, again, that they just keep getting picked apart into, and that is the Wildcard bread and butter. We're getting to the state where they are coming into their power spike just as a team.
Hextech Soul being denied twice, still so massive for the side of Wildcard. It's why they have a lead right now. And I gotta say, looking at that scoreboard, he went Rywise, but the thing that I'm really looking at, Annie's going death cap. And once Soligo connects with that death cap, the upfront damage from Annie is going to be massive. I think that Arrow is sprinting towards a QSS, which is the right call for him this game. Because I think he just needs to get out of Annie. Like, he doesn't have a cleanse, and we'll see if it's going to be Mikhail. It could be, I think it's been Mikhail's actually from Kim down, and then a Hex Drinker from Arrow. That's a much better setup, and I think that is correct. So we'll see when Arrow's able to get that. Hex Drinker is going to be really valuable for him this game. And again, it's all about Arrow staying alive. So we'll see if Lens flashes forward to take him out again.
Skin is terrifying, by the way.
He's a little big.
He's a bit big. But that is the conversation now that I want to see. Also that GA completed for Mir. But it is the fact that you still have some scaling nature on the Jinx, on APA's, Cho'Gath here. It's something to maybe fight for TL, even when we get to these late game team fights. But it is really a huge bar of execution.
And so far, Wildcard, they've been up to it. And I mean, these games, these fights have gotten crazy. They've gotten hectic. But at the moment, it is Wildcard that is in control.
Do TL even have to fight this? Like, do we let them? Do they just let another 5 minutes go by and fight for a pivotal, soul at the end of it?
No, you fight Baron for sure.
No, not Baron. Dragon.
Oh, Dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. You fight it all. Things do not get better if you're TL. What, are you telling our teams to not throw down here?
Well,
We're throwing down.
Maybe
So.
we throw down for the 7th dragon of the game, but I definitely agree. I think TL will have to fight this one, but the question is, how do they position around the Baron and maybe pull Wildcard's attention to try to get priority for these objectives coming up?
Still no Black Cleaver for Moose Hater. They are double magic damage, so I think that might be a strategic choice, but okay. We might just see a skirmish here as Duo Kings.
Go right in. A lot of tankiness on both sides. Double health bars over 5,000. Moose Hater is getting melted now. He's out of there. Now the onslaught came through. Saligo also flashing, and it's Arrow who's untouched from the back to front. Moose Hater wants to find the flank here, but he doesn't do it. Lens is doing a lot of work on the other side.
You gotta get out.
Look at Moose Hater.
Look at Moose.
He's on the back. The Requiem coming through. Demacia Justice. The Beyblade's not enough. He gets chopped down by APA, and the peel comes through for TL.
The front to back was really good there from TL as Lens wasn't able to auto attack, being shorter ranged on Draven, was just never able to get involved as TL. This is going to get funky because we're 20 seconds away from the Dragon. Wildcard, they're just going to burn down this Baron. Lens can tank it, he can do it, but that means that they're going to be not able to reset before the Dragon. What?
Did he get in the pit? He's not there in time. They get the engage. Duo King, he's got the APA down. No, he doesn't. In the end, it's Duo King who falls. The bailout was just enough for the last second. As now Saligo is gone. They might have Baron buff, but it's only on 2 members.
And it's going to be a Hextech Soul for TL, so they are actually able to match the scaling now. Wildcard, because they get that Soul, as Wildcard threw everything at it. That was a really curious decision for me because I think you want to deny the Soul. I don't think you are in a rush for Baron. If Wildcard were able to reset, it could have been okay for them. But dear Lord, man, now TL gets the Soul. We saw how much more difficult the game got for Wildcard last game when TL were able to secure it. I mean, that AoE slow is going to help Arrow peel so much, not to mention just space the Draven.
Got people talking on Twitter about how insane Mir and Lens are playing in this series, and it really has been a turn-on from Game 1 to Game 2. Now we get the culmination of Game 3.
This fight was just bonkers, but again, the big key, TL, they're staying stacked as a group, and Saligo got split with Moose Hater. And so the fact that TL are just able to chill in this choke, no one was able to actually attack Arrow. No one was able to do reasonable damage to Arrow. So TL staying stacked was okay. And that's just, all right, can we survive the Moose Hater re-engage? Wasn't able to sustain enough on the passive. Respect for Moose for going for the 5-man Beyblade, but gets sat down by APA.
Kick out was so big. That kick out is so big for these flanks. Even not man marking him, he can just get him away. Because he was literally on all 5 members right there. And then we see the fullback.
I mean, and this time around, I love how Mirrors sacrifices himself with the GA. Really well played on his part. And again, Lens, like, there's so much meat that's coming at him with the Scion, the Shogat. He can only cut through so much.
Yeah, it's a little bit much there, but now Wildcard with these Baron buffs are pushing into the inhib towers. TL could pounce.
Big thing again, Saligo is flashless. Now, Saligo, of course, has that point-and-click stun that he can always hold and threat as the Annie. But if that ever goes to the wayside, that's the target that you gotta believe Mir's looking at.
It has to be, right? And those decisive moments are so key here as we're getting to the Kangas, finally, the late game, where we have the full builds coming online. Obviously, Lens has been there. We're still waiting on some members for TL, but it is Wildcard who are front and center and trying to at least use the comp that they draft for themselves. You had said the Hextech Soul maybe makes a difference in that, but now we're just at team fights. 5v5s, who comes out on top?
The space that Hextech Soul is going to buy for Arrow is going to be critical. And it means that Wildcard, whatever engage they have or find, it has to be that much better. Like, now you're, like, I think the really big thing for TL, it's small, but that's, like, kind of what this game's coming down to. You have to make sure that Kimdown and Arrow are split up. They cannot each get stunned at the same time, because Kimdown must get Mikhail's down on Arrow so that he can react. If that doesn't happen, I think that's the most likely scenario that Wildcard can actually come back and win this game.
Maul of Malmortius has been completed for Arrow. He's on his 4th item, still missing that one that Lens is rocking. The GA going to be huge for Lens. And here comes the fight, Cubby. Bradley setting up as the front line. Duo King getting locked down, getting stunned down. Moose Hater doesn't have an end. Duo King, you cannot get caught like that in these pivotal moments. And that's the engage that's gone. Lens is on the wrong side of town. And Wildcard, they got to be careful though. Bradley takes some shots back. That's 6 items right there for you, baby. As Lens is pushing in mid lane.
Dude, Lens continues to perform. Wildcard losing their support. Things looking a tad grim. Lems, he steps up, steps to the side, and actually kites out the Scion, delivers the blow back. But TL, they still have wards that they could TP to if Bradley wants to get out, so he's going to go on Saligo.
They're going to try to commit here. With that flank, Bradley has that speed up. Trying to get Saligo here. The rest of Wildcard right around the corner.
Oh, they got the
rupture. The flash comes out from Saligo.
Really well played. I really like how they milked that flash out of Saligo. That's a good TP from Bradley.
Moosehater.
Still, this game's wild. Yeah, he's just going to cut the wave. This game's going to get really weird here, Mazel, as Moosehater. Oh, boy. He has control over the sides, but I think that everything, I mean, we have Baron and Elder spawning at the same time. At this point, you got to believe that Elder is going to be a little bit more important, given the strength of that objective. But things are getting goofy. TL just trying to take any structure they can. I think it's just going to be full resets, though, from the team. We're just going to see some more 5v5s, man.
I am here for it.
We're throwing down.
Yeah, we are absolutely throwing down. TL trying to throw down on the bot side of the map, trying to get this tier 2 tower. Should go over. Maybe even looking at the inhib with Moosehater pushing in mid lane.
Moose has to base now. Again, Saligo doesn't have that flash that's very big.
Oh, dude.
Okay, here we go.
And get caught again. That is the engage from Mir going through. The whirling death has been utilized. Now Zion in some trouble. He's going to go down to the bailout here. Nothing left. That hostile takeover comes out to Peel. Saligo is looking for a flank. So is Keel. They're going to wrap around on TL. This is some problems. And there needs to be some problem solvers for TL. They'll use this Requiem as a bit of a bait into the fight. Moosehater healing up so much. You got to get some poke on him before he heals so much. Saligo with the tippers goes straight onto Mir, but Mir shuts him down. Moosehater in some trouble now. APA took up so much damage as the Mega Death Rocket goes wide. TL stop the fight from Wildcard.
NACL was so clutch there from Kim down as it got Mir out of the combo from Annie, and now we're just going to have resets. Aaron's up in 20. Elder's up in a minute. You gotta believe that Elder's gonna be the priority here for each of our teams, but dear Lord, we have a banger on our hands. Our first game 3 of NACL is delivering, Mazel. One more fight, you gotta believe, to decide this game. I think it still really all comes down. Can they find Arrow? And can Wildcard not give TL a front to back? Because with the beefiness of the front line of TL and the hostile takeover, really feels like the front to back has been solved. Oh boy, Keel's caught.
Oh, he is caught there as well. But Mir, maybe on the other side, needs to be a little careful against Moosehater.
He's got GA.
As we didn't
he can still hunt. Keel has no flash.
There. Now Lens actually finding APA. Look how much damage he does to APA. Bradley shows up, though. They're under tower, or at least under what would have been a tower, and Keel is gone. Hey, dude, they just
Keel caught. Smite removed. That's big. They just shift power over to Elder now.
Or even just the Baron. We got pings coming down from TL onto the Baron here. They should be able to take this one down. Nothing really there for Wildcard unless they just want to try to take a fight.
It's all Lens. It's so hard for Lens to move. Again, it's a front to back. Lens doesn't have cleanse this time, so if Kindown hits a big hostile takeover, that could be game 2.
Over the wall. Here comes the hostile takeover. It lands onto 2 members here, but the engage onto Duo King comes through. APA getting a little bit low. Lens, he's trying to get the damage. There's the Demacia Justice. Lens is still untouched, but now he's not. He goes into his GA. Duo King should go down next to Ligo, just trying to save what is left for Wildcard, but there's no saving today. As the Mega Death Rocket seals the fate, and TL, they take the late game team fight. That just might mean the game.
Wildcard might have won the best of 3 last week, but guess what? It's playoffs. TL got the rematch, and they took down this best of 3. As I gotta say, that game was wild. TL, you can ride the confidence of this for the rest of playoffs as a team that we haven't really seen what we thought we could see out of this team. But this game, when it mattered most, they clutched up and they move on.
What a comeback from TL as they take the series 2-1. But props to both teams for leaving literally everything on the Rift. This is why we love League of Legends, and this is why we love the Challengers League. That is it from our last game of the first day. We're going to take a little break here. We're going to sit into an interview with Kangas, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, for our post-series interview. I got Kim down with us, and Kim down, I gotta say, that was maybe my favorite game. And I'm just gonna say that was my favorite game of the entire split right there. An insane back and forth the entire time. I want to get your thoughts on the very end of it. What's the first thing you remember hearing when you know you just won the team fight? Everybody's rushing for the Nexus. What was that moment like?
Definitely, I think some of us were yelling, and I heard like Arrow was saying like, "Oh, just peel me, please protect me." And then, yeah, I think we were able to finish everything, and everyone was hyped up, getting up right away. Yeah.
Well, a big moment for you as now Team Liquid Challengers defeat kind of like their demons in a way. Y'all lost the best of 3 against Wildcard last week in week 7 to close things out, losing the tiebreaker and then splitting the series 1-1. Was there any extra motivation for the team going into this series? Like, all right, we got to perform. We got to make up for that lost ground.
Yeah, we are like way better than how we performed last week. So we're like trying our best to make a plan and then stick to the plan throughout the week and practice. And I think that went really well. So I think,
what's the big difference from last week to this week? Did you feel like there was a different approach to this version of Team Liquid approaching Wildcard?
definitely we were more objective focused after what we went through. So we wanted to like try to make proactive call in objectives and like set up before, and I think that went really well.
Who's the one leading that objective focused call in game and even outside of game? Because I'm assuming that there's you probably some overlap there between coaching staff, but then also the players in game.
Yeah, well, usually Mir and Arrow like look for a good opportunity to like hit the objective, and then everyone just follows up after.
Okay. Well, this is your rookie split in the league, so congratulations on picking up your first series win in a playoff scenario here at the semi-pro level. I know you've played in collegiate. You mentioned that you've gotten into top 8 in collegiate in the past, so it's still a big moment for you, I think, as a player in your career right now to achieve this, where you're in this playoff bracket and you're taking down a wild card here. So talk to me a little bit about what you see yourself for the role on the team and also how it's changed throughout the split, because we've had a couple weeks now. I've seen the Kim Down development. I gotta say, it's looking pretty good.
So, comparing it to like beginning of the season, I feel like I know more like what to do at like what's certain situation, and I feel like I'm finding myself more comfortable with the teammates and how I play, and I think that's what also makes me like play better as the time goes.
Building that trust over a split, because you're roommates with some of the teammates, right?
Yeah, I'm roommate with Bradley.
With Bradley? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Do you have any embarrassing stories you can share with us on broadcast? It's broadcast appropriate, of course.
No, nothing really.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get the not broadcast appropriate stuff later then. You're up against Cloud9 Challengers next. I want to bring us to the future because they are the #1 seed coming in based on how you ended the regular season. You know, being 9th seed, the way brackets are looking, you win now, but you have a tough opponent ahead of you. I want to get your thoughts on Cloud9 Challengers and your chances against them.
Yeah, I think against C9, I think we just want to keep our plan and stick our game plan as we did today. And I think we'll have a good chance against them.
Okay,
Really
what
looking
is the,
forward to see it.
Can you give me any more info on the game plan? Is it bottom lane dominance, just shut down Lost and Zazel? It's going to be support diff?
Most likely like that.
All right, there we go. That's what I want to Kim Down. Let's go. Kim Down the killer, everybody. All right, thank you so much, Kim Down. Any final shout-outs you have for anybody at home?
Just want to say thank you to my teammates, my coach, and thank you to our sponsors, Alienware, Honda, Monster, Verizon. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you everyone who was watching our games. Thank
you, Kim Down, for coming on and chatting with us. And congratulations on a fantastic performance throughout that series. Definitely carrying your own weight, and excited to see where you continue to go in your rookie split.
Thank you.
All right, we'll bring back on the casters here to close out the day. Love talking to Kim Down. Such a fun guy. We need to work on the smack talk, though. I know Kim Down's still on the call, so Kim Down, we'll talk about this a little bit later. You know, how to intimidate Zazel going forward.
Don't worry about him, Kim Down. You're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing.
I gotta say, I'm really happy for Kim Down. I was a coach in the TL tryout. It was a really fun process for me to be a part of. I loved working with Kim Down. When I saw that he was picked up, so a lot of people were like, oh, I didn't think he was very good from the public tryout games.
Yeah.
There were other games in there, and when I saw that move, I was like, yeah, no surprise. He was a great kid. He's only gotten better. And the fact that, like, looking at his history, the furthest he's gotten in a tournament is, like, top 8 of collegiate. He, like, never even made it out of, like, a UPL group, right? Right, so like going from that level of play to this, that's a really big jump, and he continues to make the strides necessary to not only stay here, but also excel here. As his Renata, I think, was a big game changer in Game 3, and a big part of the reason why we got to talk to him afterwards.
Why Arrow was able to live in that last fight there.
Yeah.
He barely got the reset, so cool stuff. Let's take a look at the bracket and how it's been populated so far from the first day of playoffs. We are through with the top half of the bracket. Congratulations to Cloud9 Challengers, Team Liquid Challengers, Fear, and Golden Guardians Challengers for picking up their wins.
Some banger matchups, man.
Yeah, we had all Challenger versus Provisional teams to start off here, and Fear are the only Provisional team to win theirs. So that's pretty cool. I know they were the higher seed going in, but they continue to be the front runners for the Provisional squads.
Also, just want to point out, as we have a lower bracket, Wildcard versus CLGF, the loser of that series will be in the promotion relegation tournament. Really important that Wildcard is able to pick up that win. I will say the tiebreaker is regular season record if we have like enough teams exit at the same time. But Fear is looking really safe from that. Wildcard, they beat CLGF pretty soundly in the regular season. Looked good today, even despite the loss. So
also,
definitely someone to look out for in lower bracket.
We also get that Fear Golden Guardians matchup again. I love that we started off with TLC versus Wildcard, but now we get the rematch for Golden Guardians to try to take down Fear.
That was a fun one in the regular season as well. So that's the top half of the bracket. We have the second half of the bracket happening tomorrow. So make sure that you're tuning in then because we have way more action ahead of us. Day one of the first 4-day weekend here for playoffs. We are getting through this season quickly. Make sure that you're following us on our socials so you can stay up to date on all the schedules
Path to LCS.
and standings and Path to LCS. Follow both Twitch channels. Thank you, Mazel. We're going to be rating some Max Waldo content after we wrap up the show here. So shout outs to Mazel and Cubby. You put on a great show. Shout outs to everybody in production for keeping the gears rolling. Everybody in Twitch chat for cheering on your favorite players. And most importantly, those players who, if they weren't playing and trying to get into the LCS, we wouldn't have this show here. We'll be back with more Path to LCS tomorrow, and we'll see you there.